notes in the car, child pornography, pounds of weed, and a shotgun.
He was released on bond after being questioned related to the child killings, and roughly a week later, Timothy King goes missing.
In 2010, as he digs through the files, Appleman discovers one sentence buried in a small town northern Michigan newspaper, a sentence that may unlock a dark connection.
This article talks about pornography confiscated from North Fox Island and pornography confiscated from Christopher Bush.
His name was found among the list of Francis Sheldon's clients and subscribers.
Did the cops have the killer and let him go? Next time on Children of the Snow.
There's just too much stuff there that made it look like I'm the man, this is it, everything's over.
There's a saying in cold case investigations, the vast majority of the time, the killer's name is already in the box.
Did the police miss crucial evidence or deliberately hide it?
I watched Christine leave 7-Eleven with a police officer and was never seen again.
Will science unlock a 40-year-old mystery from a single strand of hair?
If you find out who this hair belongs to, you're going to have your guy.
You're really scared, huh?
Yeah, if a car stops in front of me, I'll start running because they want me to kidnap me.
The Oakland County child killer case, if I had to describe it in a sentence for somebody who's never heard of it, is the darkest, most disturbing case you've never heard of.
4 children abducted, held captive, and then murdered.
One cop told me today that we may have been giving kids the wrong advice by telling them not to go this way. The point is, don't go with anybody, because nobody knows who this killer is.
For more than 40 years, someone has gotten away with murder.
We didn't have any viable suspects. We didn't have anything.
But what if the killer has been there all along?
He's released, and roughly a week later, Timothy King goes missing.
There was major pedophile activities by prominent adults, and I don't know why they should be excluded from Timmy's case.
In the conclusion of this 2-part investigation, led by one kid who got away,
I want to know who killed those 4 kids.
along with one family that won't be silenced,
I just said I'm going to go public because I'm tired of being jacked around.
we unearth new clues.
I'm a witness in this case. I watched Christine leave 7-Eleven and was never seen again, and she's dead.
I don't think I'm the only one that thinks that suicide maybe wasn't a suicide.
New suspects.
We thought he was going to confess, but he didn't. And he wouldn't confess to nothing.
He was an associate of the main suspects. He claims to know nothing. It's not believable.
The mistakes, the inability to solve this crime, I would like to see Barry King and the other families get justice.
Can science provide the answers to this 40-year-old mystery?
It very well could be the missing link.
If you find out who this hair belongs to, you're going to have your guy.
Everybody wants to know who killed those 4 kids. But really, every day I become more convinced that we already know who killed those 4 kids.
Few Detroiters can forget the winters of 1976 and 77, when a shadowy killer held its suburbs in a grip of fear. 4 children abducted, held for days, then smothered and dumped in snowy ditches.
We're worried about whose child might be the next victim. Everybody is, and people are afraid.
For their families, it's been a living hell.
It's not an easy thing. I mean, I've been living with this for 43 years with no answers.
It's one of those things that never goes away. This was a bad period.
What would you think when you go to bed at night, your daughter was with someone for 19 days? You have that thought in your head 24 hours, 7 days, 365. It doesn't leave.
We have lived our entire adult lives with this. It killed my mom. She lived for 20 more years, but she died that week.
I think all kids in our area feel the same. that the Oakland County child killings, especially because they had never been solved, sort of seeped into us and colored everything we did.
J. Reuben Appleman was a kid in Southfield in the late 70s when the killer was stalking children on the streets of Oakland County.
This is the street where I was walking when the guy tried to snag me. He was parked right about where we are and pulled up next to me, tried to grab me, and then I took off.
These 4 kidnapped murders have shaken this community with a degree of fear unknown up to now.
Had the Oakland County child killer attempted to abduct me, I wondered? And that was a big thing to wonder. My mission became finding out why.
In 2005, he decided to try and solve the case. 2 years in, the amateur sleuth took his obsession a step further.
Much in the way seasoned investigators will link things out on a whiteboard or on a wall somehow, I need to write it out to put the pieces together. And at some point, I realized I'd be writing this book so I could figure out what happened.
Appleman has gone through thousands of pages of Freedom of Information documents looking for clues. Eventually, the amateur detective discovered the work of a professional detective, Corey Williams, who helped to revive the cold case in 2005.
One of the things that they did that was probably smart on their part was they abducted a kid from one community, dropped him in a different one, involving 8 different communities. Mark Stebbins from Ferndale was abducted February 15th, 1976. His body 4 days later was found in Southfield. So Southfield PD then became involved, and Michigan State Police were investigating. And they processed the suspect's car. They started following some leads. So you had those 2 agencies working together. Approximately 8 to 10 months later, Jill Robinson was abducted from Royal Oak. Her body was found in Troy. So there's 4 agencies now. 3 days after her body was found, Christine Mihalik's abducted from Berkeley. 19 days after that, on January 21st, 1977, her body's found in Franklin, Michigan. So now you have 6 different agencies. On March 16th, 1977, a few months later, Tim King's abducted from Birmingham. 6 days later, Tim King's body's discovered on Bill Road, south of 8 Mile in Livonia. That's the first time Wayne County became involved in the investigation. So now you have 2 counties, 8 different agencies, and a mess trying to coordinate things. And at one point, there was over 300 detectives working the case.
In 2007, Detective Williams gets a break in the case, not from dogged detective work, but from a friend of the King family. Polygrapher Patrick Coffey, who once lived across the street from the Kings in Birmingham, says that in 2005, his colleague polygraphed a man who confessed to killing Tim King. His colleague, though, would not say the name of who confessed.
He didn't give me the name. He gave me the 2 variables: that the attorney that represented the person is dead, and that the individual who did it is dead, and that I tested the guy who confessed to killing the neighbor boy.
As detectives, we know that it's common for a subject to confess what they've been involved in to a polygrapher in a pre-polygraph.
It was a private polygraph in a case unrelated to the Oakland County child killer, and pre-polygraph exams are protected under attorney-client privilege. Detective Williams painstakingly digs through the police reports and old